Afternoon, everybody. North Nation. Hope everybody's doing well. Figured I'd do a little video. It's been a while. Been busy. Everyone's busy, so we're trying to find time to do as many of these videos as we possibly can. Wait for a couple people to get on here. Don't think we'll get too many people. We're pretty much dead in the middle of work day here. So if you're not on lunch or you're not taking a break, feel free to catch up on this video later. Let me know if you watch this video live, or let me know if you caught it later. Good to know. But right now we are dealing with some huge issues. So call this end of quarter one, middle of quarter two, kind of wrap up of where we are so far in the year 2021 with the restoration industry. We got some big issues that I think that we need to address here constantly. Give the support to those who are essentially putting the effort forth in fixing these issues, and or figure out ways and or groups or take some action ourselves and take care of these things. But these are the issues that I'm thinking. I'm just going to cover them on topics here. Probably do some videos specifically on each of these topics, maybe with some guests, so on and so forth. Just dive a little bit more into them. The first one I want to talk to is Xactimate. I'm not claiming that it's price fixing by any means, but the way that it's used by the carriers is an abomination. Yes, we can get a white paper written by, what's going on, Stephen? We'll get a white paper written by those in the group. We'll send them over to the insurance companies, but I mean, let's be real, guys. If you're one of the professionals like myself in the industry that are fighting these good fights every single day, I think we all know that the white papers only go so far. There are some clarifications in there, but they're the same information that we've been pushing forward for years to these carriers, as far as letting them know that the pricing isn't the way it's supposed. This pricing isn't set in stone. We have to be able to adjust our pricing, that the system's meant to be changed, that we have to be able to adjust our pricing in accordance with our businesses and our overhead and so on and so forth. In my opinion, I think it's a great system, but the pricing side and the actual gathering of information to put into the program is garbage. So in my opinion, I think that needs to be changed in a large way. From that point forward, I'm not going to get into how we fix it, but if you're not adjusting your pricing now, and don't stick adjusting your pricing, just don't accept downloaded zip code price lists, especially in reconstruction. It's a joke. I think that you can put things together to kind of break even and make a tiny little bit of a profit, but as far as what you're trying to do as far as construction normal profitability, it's really not there, especially with a bunch of subcategories. This kind of rolls into third-party reviews. Third-party reviews in our industry are starting to become a huge issue. It doesn't matter what the reasoning is behind the third-party reviews estimate. The insurance company seems to think that this is the end of the day payment of what it should be. Most of these individuals coming out and writing a third-party estimate don't even have the knowledge how to write it. Some of them don't even have the licensing. Some of them don't even have the qualifications to do the work. They're just writing estimates because they know Xactimate a little bit or some other program. So Sedgwick is one that I'm dealing with constantly. They're always about 60% of my bill is what they write. So 40% reduction on pretty much every bill, if you want to call it an average. And for me, they shouldn't be able to come in unless they have the right experience. And then they try to say they're bringing their contractors in, but let's be real, they're bringing a contractor from outside your area that doesn't even know the prices in your area to try to write an estimate based off of some cheaper area. They're constantly bringing people from Orlando down into our area, writing estimates for 30% less, 40% less on rebuild than what it is. The customer then gets stuck having to either cover half the bill or go through the fight of getting their payments prior to payment. We try to cover the right of reimbursement a lot, so our customers will pay us, they'll go for reimbursement. They usually get their money that way. It eliminates a lot of the arguments there. But at the end of the day, stop calling me. Industry associations chasing money and not change. This is a huge issue in my opinion. I'm definitely not going to point any fingers as to any organizations, associations, whatever you want to put as far as what they call themselves. In my opinion, I think that if we are a part of organizations, we need to make sure that the folks of those organizations are achieving change and to forward and progress the industry in a positive manner. I see a lot of people dumping money into these organizations, not the educational organizations. I'm talking about just different groups, if you will, that are taking huge chunks of money from different restoration contractors, all in all, to get better or to fix the situation. I don't see the change happening. I just don't. And as somebody who's been waiting for change for the entirety of my career in the industry, it's really challenging to watch this happen because I keep hearing an ask for money, but at the same time, I don't see anything that's actually resulted in something to benefit me as a professional business owner or anybody who is similar to me. I've been doing this for 13 years as a business owner, and it's not getting too much easier, and there's definitely not a support on our side. So hopefully you guys can find that support through NORP. The AOB, let's stop with AOB real quick. We'll get into that next. Carrier pushback kind of wraps up the third-party reviews and the Xactimate stuff. Carrier pushback is a huge issue. We need to be able to get through this. We should be able to look at a job. The damage that's on a job is the damage that's on a job, and there should not be arguments as to what the scope of the work is. If we're talking about dollar value differences, they shouldn't be 40-50% differences. It should be maybe 5-10%. You're going to have differences in people's opinion. That's natural. But to have such drastic differences in the billing and the pricing, it's just not normal, especially considering the fact when you're going to do remodels or any of this work outside of an insurance type of a claim, usually everybody's bids are within 10% of each other, 15% at most. And if people are out there, they're usually giving you the I don't want your job price. So we'll touch back on carriage pushback, but that's definitely going to be a deep video. And I'd like to get as many people who want to get involved in that video on board because I think it'll be really interesting to have that discussion be open. Now let's get into the AOBs. I don't necessarily think that there is a problem with the AOB existing in many areas. My problem that I think exists with the AOB, or the assignment of benefits, if you're not sure what that is the fact that it's being given out on a thumb drive with absolutely zero training. Lawyers are essentially pushing this as the end-all, be-all win to be able to get paid quickly and allow for the lawyers to be able to recover their costs. Keyword, lawyers be able to recover their costs. Most of the time you're going to see this being pushed by a lawyer. You wonder why. It's because the lawyer is probably one who gets the benefit from it. Imagine how much time these cases or these files will sit in a lawyer's hands. They bill by the hour or percentage. So usually by the hour, the lawyers win. So it is what it is. Just got to be very careful with this. There will be a deep video going into AOBs. But my issue with the AOB, just to get back on, is the fact that people are being given AOBs, assignment of benefits, being told about them, how to use them, but not being told the process in which needs to take place and your responsibility as a contractor if you're going to do an assignment of benefits. Very much so important to get into the idea of how you're supposed to use that. Really getting tired of everybody preaching unity. About 3-4 years ago when we started the organization, I believe we were the only people kind of talking about unity, bringing the organization, bringing the industry together. A lot of people are using this podium, if you will, of unity to stand on in order to build and grow whatever it is they're trying to build and grow. But at the same time, they're actually behind closed doors being more exclusive or inclusive to the group than they ever were. This needs to change. As a group, as a part of NORP, there's 7,000, almost 8,000 members here now. Everybody who's on here, it's free. You guys are all members of the organization as free members. Obviously, we do have paid member positions, but that is what it is when you get there. But there is no cost for entry. Everybody is here, and we support you all equally. There are some benefits that members get, but that's about it. If you have questions about that, we can touch on that later. So let's stop preaching publicly the idea of unity and bringing the industry together. Let's start acting on it. Let's start opening doors. Let's start putting more seats at the table. Let's start allowing for us as contractors to have figure points and or people that are leading the conversation to come together between different organizations and associations in order to achieve the goals that we're trying to achieve. Talk is cheap. Action is what people are looking for. And I know that's what I've been looking for, and that's why we started NORP 3 or 4 years ago, because there was a lack of action. Plenty of people running around talking the talk, but not too many people trying to walk the walk. And every failed restorer recently has turned into a coach or a consultant, which is crazy. I get messages probably once or twice a month from individuals who've essentially been billed or charged or spent money with a consultant or a coach who literally didn't quite make it in the industry, and some people know that, whereas others are buying into their idea that they are the experts of certain things. The question that I will place to you is, if someone was not capable of running their own business and being successful in it, why are they not running that business today? So any coach or consultant that you are working with, make sure that they have proof that they have been successful in putting into action these ideas that they're trying to put into action. Because God, I can't keep hearing about people spending $10,000, $15,000 for a coaching plan or $200 an hour talking to somebody who literally couldn't even hold a job in a restoration company and got fired from every different group that they worked for. If you do the research on a lot of these people, you can find that information out yourself. I'm not going to name names or say who's who, but the information is out there. Do your research, and do not work with somebody who does not have success in their own business, especially in our industry. Because if they don't understand our industry, how are they going to coach you on how to be successful? They're going to have you spending your money in some way that they have never spent money. It's easy to spend somebody else's money, but they've never spent their money and lost it. I did shave. Got rid of the beard a little bit. It was getting a little bit wild. Aaron White, you win. Your beard rules, and you have the best beard in town or in the industry. Calls. Your white paper, and this is a good one, and this is going to be a great video topic, is your white paper is not getting me paid. Your white paper might help to prolong the discussion of why I should get paid, and it might help me to get a couple points across, but your white paper is not helping me get paid. So we need to stop relying on these crutches and these shortcuts in order to win. We need to do the work, put the information out there, document our jobs, be transparent with our clients, and get paid for the things that we do. Do the work, get paid for it. Do the work, get paid for it. Justify it. Pretty simple. If you do those three things, you're going to get paid every time. You won't need an AOB. You shouldn't need anything else. If you just do the work right, follow industry standards, do things on a consistent basis, bill appropriately, and don't overcharge people for things that you didn't do, you should have no problem getting paid in the future. So that's just a big one. Your white paper doesn't get us paid. But we appreciate you putting the time and effort into putting those white papers together. And I hope they help other people to understand certain points that are being made on those white papers. But unfortunately, it's not a win where you send over this white paper to somebody and they just stroke a check and send it in the mail. It's not going to happen. Hiring and finding quality employees for long-term employment. I think we need to do a big talk on this one. Obviously, it's not going to be right now, but this is one of the huge issues that's facing us currently and moving into the future that I see getting worse. Whether it be for people taking unemployment or other reasons, hiring and finding quality employments for long-term employment within companies is becoming more and more and more challenging. So this is something that we're going to have to discuss, get into a little bit further, and maybe we can, as a group, come up with some ideas and ways to help each other in order to fix this issue. Third-party estimators and on-site estimators. I don't think you're going to get the information in your estimate by sending somebody pictures, sketches, and information. They might be able to put together a badass estimate that's there, but at the end of the day, the justification and details associated to that individual unique job are not going to be there. Not to say that you won't have a number or a dollar figure that you're okay with, but remember, it's all about transparency and justification and defending it, not necessarily defending, but having the information ready to defend what you do without having to get to that point. So you guys got to plan every file as if it's going to court. And just know that the more you do that, the less you'll probably end up in court. Because if you have a court-ready file, you're going to get paid quickly. Because everybody blowing me up right now. Literally. Everybody. Not sure why. But I'm going to get to my last thing here. And this is probably most important. Standards should not be followed just when you're trying to get paid. We as an industry need to hold ourselves to a higher level and follow the industry standards until they're updated or until they're changed, because that's what we have right now. These are the standards that we currently have. And if you think that something needs to change, get involved with the IICRC. Get involved with those groups or organizations that are making those standards. Put in the effort and put in the time in order to change the standards if you think they need to be changed. But for the time being, don't argue with the standards, follow them. These standards are put in place for a reason. These standards are going to allow us to have something to stand on. Yes, they are not the end-all, be-all. Yes, there are licensing laws in every state. Yes, there's so much. But as a starting point, a baseline, you need to use the standards as a baseline and build from there. And make sure that you are not dipping below the threshold of the standards. It's important because of the fact that that is the only thing that we have to go on. And we have to thank those who are involved in creating those for us, because if we didn't have that, we'd be fighting an uphill battle. So yes, we're going to continue to make things better. Yes, we're going to continue to improve the industry. But at the end of the day, without addressing these issues that I've just discussed in this video, we are going to have a long, hard road. And unless we start coming together and working together as a industry, we will never, ever get through these hurdles, because the insurance company is counting on us to keep fighting this battle against each other and allowing us to keep fighting this fight from 7 different angles while everyone is tripping over each other's steps that they're trying to make in order to do progress. I'm asking you guys, put your animosity and bullshit aside and realize that we have to all come together as an industry regardless of your relationships and your feelings about any individuals or any groups. That includes myself. And in doing so, I'm going to sit here and say this, that I have personally joined the RIA, and I am obviously a member of the IICRC, because I do not feel that there is a reason that we pick or choose one organization to lead this fight. We all have to work as one big unit. We might have different homes that rest our, different beds to rest our head on the end of the night. The RIA, the IICRC, us, and all those other different groups. But if we are not communicating with each other to achieve the goals that we have set forth, it's going to be a shit show. So let's pull our heads out of our asses and let's grab the bull by the horn and take advantage of the opportunities that are here for us today as restoration contractors and professionals in a dynamic industry. And let's be the biggest, most badass specialty trade that exists in the construction industry, because that's what we deserve to be. We are the specialists, just like those doctors out there. Let's not just justify our work of being things by relating to the medical industry. Let's act as such. Let's be as professional as somebody in the medical industry might be held to. Remember, those guys can get sued for malpractice and all that other shit. Hold yourself accountable. Be the best restorer you can be every single day, and become a part of the industry to make a change. Stop fighting the uphill battle and join every group that's out here that you can. The more groups you join, the more knowledge of what groups exist, the more chances there are that we're going to be able to work together to achieve change. I hope this wasn't too much or too long of a video. Hope everyone's doing really well. We're going to try to do more. All these topics in this video are going to be basically broken down into individual videos with guests and guest hosts and all that other stuff. So we'll be working to bring you more content as things slow down a little bit in my own personal life and with everybody else that's volunteering within the organization. We do appreciate everything you guys are doing, and we appreciate the patience in helping us build. But it's time to put on our working hats and go to work and fix this industry, because you, I, everybody around us that's part of this group, we're the only way that it's going to change. Unfortunately, it's not going to be some outside party that's going to do it for us. Well, with that, I appreciate it. Hope everybody has an amazing rest of your week. Crush the rest of your Monday, and absolutely dominate the rest of the month. We'll talk to you guys soon.